somebody really approved for like big three financing, Wells, Chase, B of A? What are they looking for?
Well, it's really Fannie Mae and jumbo loans. Fannie Mae goes up to 636 150 in LA and Orange County, and every county has slightly, different loan limits based on the median income of the community or
but that number seems unrealistic for California in general when the median price is what, 5.5?
Well, 636 150, and if you're putting 20% down, we're talking about like a $780,000 property. So if you
But who has that kind of, I mean, let's be realistic. Who has that kind of liquid capital sitting around?
Well, then FHA goes up to 636 150 with a 3.5% down payment. So that takes you up to a purchase price of 659. So if you buy a house at 659 and you put 3.5% down, then we're looking at a 636 150 loan amount, because I have a client that's at that max right now. And yeah, he's having a difficult time finding a 5-bedroom home in the price range that he wants without, multiple competing offers. And so to answer your question is how difficult is it? Well, in 2009, everything changed. Right. And the guidelines got more strict, and this is the way it should have been back in 2003, because if it was like how it is today back in 2003, I don't think we would have seen prices go up as crazy as we did, but I also don't think we would have had the same foreclosure problem that we did, because there were too many stated income, ninja, all the different option arm loans and interest-only loans that then, after 5 years, the rates went up and so did the payments because they were interest-only the first 5 years. So all this stuff has made underwriting the way it should have been all along. And so I don't have a problem with the qualification, what it takes to qualify. What I have a problem with is when the properties don't appraise for the purchase price, and these people who are putting 20% down in order to avoid mortgage insurance are now having to put 27% down because the property appraises for a lower price than what the purchase price in escrow is at. So that's...
Are we at that point again where we're overpaying are we overvaluing property?
Well, it's what the market will bear, right? I have clients that we're writing. I mean, we just wrote an offer. What's today? Today's Friday. We just wrote an offer on Wednesday. The opening bid, the asking price was $575. It was priced well, but a lot of these agents are using the REO philosophy, pricing them a little low, waiting for multiple offers, and then taking the highest and best offer. That's the kind of the model of some of these listing agents. And so my client, we were writing an offer on a property in Altadena, right next to Pasadena, where we were at the near the public library doing your last monster marketing event. We wrote an offer for $650, $75,000 above the asking price. That was our coming out of the gate offer. I mean, that's how crazy you have to be in order to get these offers, because we know it's going to sell that or higher. So we just came out super strong. That's guy crazy. Wants this.
That's literally crazy.
Yeah, and we were the first offer. We know there's more offers coming, and then when the listing agent says we're not reviewing offers until next Tuesday, what that tells me is that they're looking to double end it. They're looking to get the highest price they can for the seller, and the listing agent wants a double banger. They want to get both sides of the commission.
Well, yeah, I would. I mean, that's what I want in my own business. I want both ends of the transaction.
Not stupid, but for us buyers out there, those buyers are getting screwed.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. But, I mean, and I know that there are a lot of agents trying to struggle and comprehend all of this, but the reality, this is not the first time we've seen this market. We saw this in 2006 and 7 when you'd have to drop off an offer with a fruit basket. I mean, we're back at the salad days. If you control the listing, you have all the power.
100% true, especially if it's turnkey. If it's not turnkey, it's so surprising. I'm telling my clients, you guys may want to consider buying a fixer because there are less offers on those properties. People don't want to deal with all that, or people don't have the money to deal with all that after they buy it because,
right.
They might need $50,000 to make it look the way they want to, and after putting 20% down, they don't have that extra $50,000.
How close are we to 100% or 105 or 110% financing? What are the rumblings on your end?
Well, if you Google 100% home equity lines of credit, you can find people that are going up to 100% of the value today.
That's crazy.
I never thought that would come back. But sometimes when we put 20% down on a property, right, for my clients, and they want to fix it up because they want, they're stuck buying a property that they really don't want to buy, but it's the only thing they can get there, only thing they can find. What I tell them is, don't worry, you can go get a home equity line of credit and then take that 10% equity, and go back up to 90% of the purchase price and then borrow against the purchase price of the home that you just bought and use that 10% home equity line of credit up to 90% of the value to, make the repairs that you want to make, as long as their debt to income ratio allows them to do that. So we look at those things, but sometimes, and then they have these 203K loans with FHA, but those come with mortgage insurance. So those aren't always the best solution. But there are some options out there to buy fixers that allow them to get into a home, almost any home, and then be able to fix it up and make it nice the way they want to live.
So what? Okay, let me play this back. So instead of the days of creating 80/20s, now people are investing their 20 liquid and getting traditional financing at 80%, and then turning around and HELOC dropping for 10 to 15 or whatever they can max out on a HELOC on a turnaround.
Yeah, and if they, because again, Lee, is that these people can't get what they really want.
That's crazy that 100%. See, I thought somebody would put brakes on that. I thought somebody would come to their senses. As my past career of being an asset manager, I can't believe that we're at a point where we're looking at 100% financing, period. I can't believe that underwriters or the people keeping an eye on that are allowed. I wouldn't write a 20%. I realize that the equity's there, but that's based on the current market.
But today, to qualify for that, you actually have to qualify for that. When, who was it? There was one lender, one bank, and they were one of the first ones to implode. But when they were doing 80/20, 100% stated income programs, I was just saying, okay, now I've seen enough. This is going to turn, and I wrote an article back in 2003 that said, are you holding a ticking time bomb on your mortgage and you don't even know it? And one of my clients, his name was Dave McNamara. He was the Orange County Register or the LA Times. He was in charge of the real estate section of the newspaper. And what he said to me was, Fred, I got your email. Because, I send out emails to my clients once a month. And I did 4 loans for him. And we did them, every time the rates dropped, we would, we did these zero cost refis for all of our clients. So he goes, Fred, I read your article about the, are you holding a ticking time bomb with your mortgage? Now, this was in 2003. Home prices were increasing 30% a year. My article was, I'm not a doom and gloom guy. I just said, what happens if rates go up 2 percentage points and you got a 5-year fixed? And what happens if the rates, and now you're paying in year 6, you're paying 2% higher. Now you're paying principal and interest because the first 5 years you're paying the interest only payment. And I said, what happens if the rates go up 2%? What happens if you can't afford? And I just analyzed a $350,000 loan, and I said, let's just say it goes up 2%. Well, what happens is now the loan's amortized over 25 years when it adjusts in year 6. Now you're paying principal and interest in year 6, and then the rate's 2% higher. And I analyzed just a small loan of $350. The payment increase was like $998 and some change. That's what the payment would increase. So I just said to everybody reading my email blast that I send out to my database, I just said, what happens? Could you afford that extra $998 if it was to adjust today? Okay, if you can't afford it today, could you afford it 5 years ago? Okay, if you can't afford it today and you can't afford it 5 years ago, I'm sorry, but without a gun and a ski mask, how the heck do you plan on affording it 5 years from today? And I said, do you see what I see? Do you see the writing on the wall? I wrote that article in June of 2003. It got published on the front page of the real estate section of the newspaper. I received over 900 phone calls from that article, people wanting to get 30-year fixed loans.
As they should.
And I couldn't believe the response, but I believed it in my heart that I would never have gotten anything except a 30-year fixed, a 20-year fixed, or a 15-year fixed for my own personal residence.
So talking to you right now, I'm on the RealtyTrack website, and for all real estate professionals, go to mega.realty. Well, now they changed it. It's mega3.realtytrack.com. Sign up, get a free account. You can run numbers, and they have the entire title database for the U.S. So I decided to run first loans generated in the last 12 months, and then in second position, all the HELOC loans. How many loans, Fred, let's play a game. How many loans do you think were generated in the last 12 months nationally that have a first and a HELOC?
I'm going to say 15% of all loans.
That's a good number. So how many loans do you think were generated over the last... I have a physical number, so you could be right. What's a normal year of loan generation?
Oh, in the United States?
Yeah, for a new purchase.
Oh, man.
I don't know this
it would
number.
be a match.
Oh, you know what? I know how to figure out that number. Okay, now that I know this number, hold on. I can actually get you that number. Wait.
That's it.
I can actually... I can do this. Wait. Okay, include.
The power of the brain.
Well, I just removed the word HELOC and see what's been generated over the last, right? So this isn't rocket science. So what I want to do is do loans generated. So whatever their database is for the last 12 months, I'm going to include those. Okay. This is a good question. We might have accidentally tapped into something just by having a discussion about it. So I know the number of first and HELOCs again. So we're talking probably 80-20s or 80-10s, probably.
80-10-10s, yeah.
80-10-10s or some combination thereof, right? I suppose I could run to see if there's third loans as well and see what that number is, which even starts to get into a crazier figure. So I'm looking for things that have been generated over the last year that have a first loan and a HELOC. I know that physical number. Right now, the database, oh my God. Okay, so 5,504,000 loans were created in the last 12 months. Okay.
And most of those were prior to Trump being elected, I would imagine, because as soon as he got elected, the rates went up 1 full percentage point. And then in the last 6 months, rates came down a half a point. But now the Fed's talking about raising interest rates one more time before the end of the year, which is the last three times they said they were going to do it, they did it. So